Welcome back. Darren, before the break, we spoke a lot about, your passion and how you began. But I'm sure you would agree that in the Caribbean, we hear many stories of people, especially young men, if I can say, who are kind of stuck in a rut and they're not achieving as well as they could be. What do you think, if someone has a passion, how would you advise them to try and do something about that passion?
Well, if I could use my example, here I was, kid who has a passion to play cricket, then I got an opportunity to play. Because with all that passion, you need an opportunity to express it. If you're a singer, you have a passion for singing, you need a mic, you need to perform. So that passion now becomes a drive. It becomes what you want to be. So that passion I had, got my talent into it, got an opportunity to play schools cricket. From schools cricket, I had an opportunity to play national cricket, and then regional, and then the graph kept going higher and higher. So I think as leaders, as people in authority, we have to create that environment for all those young kids growing up with a passion. Because I think this is the most critical moment for the development of young people. Once you see them with that drive, you need to grab them, because once they have all this passion inside and they don't get to express it and they don't get an opportunity to do something about it, something else is going to take over. So have the parks, have the fields, have the libraries, have the avenue where they could excel. And over the years, in my sport, I've been singing that song all the time. We need young men and women, well, young sportsmen and women in St. Lucia needs that avenue to go out and express themselves. And it is something we really have to look into.
What about the individual though? Because you can be that individual with that passion and you don't know what's out there and available to you. You don't know whether there are organizations or anything like that. Or sometimes people say, you can't do that, or do something else. We hear that all the time where teachers will say, you're not able to do that, do something else.
Yes, I was told no St. Lucia never made it on the West Indies team. What makes you think you're going to be the first person? But I saw the step, I saw the passion, I had a vision. I knew what I had to do in order to get to the West Indies team. So the key was I got to first make the Windward Islands team, which plays in the regional tournament where you get selected to play for West Indies. So that's why I say the people in authorities, the associations, they have to have a good relationship with the players or the young kid, the teachers, the Ministry of Education and the school system. Everybody has to work hand in hand. It's a team, and that's why when I speak about myself, I have a number of people that always come into play because they were there helping me along. Because no man is an island. I don't think so.
But who helped you when you were captain of the West Indies team? And when it was first announced, let's be honest, you had people like, "Wow, Darren, yeah," and others like, "He's not ready." How did you deal with that?
I was captain of St. Lucia for many years before that, and the Windward Islands cricket team. I captained West Indies A team as well, and. Whenever I played, my peers, the selectors, the fans always see me as one who motivates, who can inspire, have that never say die attitude. And that's just, in me, that's just the way I play. I believe you should go out and give your all. And that's what I try to do. So it was kind of surprising because in my goals I didn't have been a West Indies captain in there. I just wanted to play cricket for the West Indies and showcase my talent, showcase my skills and be good at it. But now to have the C by my name, it was quite overwhelming. But I'm not one to back down from a challenge. So I saw it as another opportunity to excel and make a difference. And the time I became captain, it was, the selector said was to bring stability into the West Indies team. And I think the time I was captain, I think we achieved that. So it was difficult, but again, that same passion I had as a little boy, I still have it. I still had it back then. So it was just a natural progression for me. I played with those guys for a number of years, so I knew them. And being captain, you have to know your players. Being a leader, you must have you must have that factor where you could interact with people. Make them want to do things. Motivate them, inspire them to do better all the time.
But how did you inspire yourself when you were suffering setbacks and knockbacks?
Well, I don't know. When I look back at it, I went through a very, very tough time as captain in all three formats. But I just kept telling myself that, God has a plan for me. And normally I'm very strong mentally, which I think that is my strongest asset. And I kept, believing in myself, believing in my ability, believing that I belong where I was at that present time. It's not by, by luck and chance. I belong there. I saw myself as the person to do the job. And yes, they had difficulties, yeah, and my wife is the person who knows all about it, because she probably got the sharp end of the stick, because I don't believe in venting in public. So probably when I'm home or when I'm speaking to her and expressing how I feel, probably she got the rough end of my frustrations over the years. But no, I just believed in myself, and the God-fearing person that I am, I always said, success is round the corner. I'm working hard, I'm doing all that I can, and I'm persevering. Which I think is the key to success. So then in 2012, when we won the World Cup, I said, yes, thank you. Thank you, Jesus. That was the high point, as a leader, marching the troops, lifting a World Cup. That's what you work for. And all those years of, criticism, I still get it. But it was a moment where, we conquered, and as a captain, I felt really, really proud. So.
Now, apart from your parents, who would you say were the people who you looked up to, that you aspired to, whether they were cricketers or not?
Well, I used to dream of playing with Brian Lara and Curtly Ambrose. So I said to myself, if I make West Indies by 17, 18 years, I could be playing with Curtly Ambrose, because I was striking his age at that time, if he might retire. And then I said, if I make it by 20, I could still be playing with Brian Lara. Those were my two idols growing up. I always had a liking for Jacques Kallis from South Africa as an all-rounder. But Brian Lara and Curtly Ambrose, I just love watching those guys play. When Lara got out, I just wanted everybody else to get out to see Ambrose running and bowl. So, but those were my idols in cricket. But I watch different sports. I've always been a fan of Michael Jordan. One who believes that people didn't really see the best of him. Because he said his best was at practice, you know, because all the jump shots when the buzzer 2 seconds left and he's throwing that ball in the air and he knows it's gonna go in. He's done it so many times at practice, you know. So I'm a believer in practice, you know, and all the great athletes you hear they echo the same story about, you know, practicing, being determined, you know, the desire to persevere, you know, and along the way, many people have created that avenue for me to persevere. And like I said, Dr. Hilaire, Trevor Phillip, Brian Calix, you know, Mr. Philip J. Pierre and, you know, Mario Michel, back then the government of St. Lucia, you know, Dr. Skit Lit, Mr. Desmond Skit, who was at the tourist board. You know, a few people which I can't really call everybody's name, but you know, and where an important stage where my cricket really started and people saw me was at the Vifford Comprehensive School with Kenneth Antoine and Johnson O'Gees. Those guys believed in me.
Yes, and that's so important to get on in life. But you know what, even if people don't believe in you, once you believe in yourself, that's the main thing.
Yep.
Thank you for staying with us. We'll be right back.